What's up everybody, welcome to the channel for another video. This video in particular will be like a talking head video, so just in case you weren't, I just saw that a trailer for a new Netflix documentary about Johnny Depp and AH is coming out in August, and I went through the trailer to see, just for curiosity, what they were talking about. And obviously, when you see the trailer, many of you probably already did that, you have this sense that they're still trying to be vague enough, as if the documentary will present anything new that could sway people from what we have seen last year for many, many weeks. So I immediately, of course, feel a little bit of the rejection towards this type of work, because I know that most likely, I might be wrong because you never know, but most likely they will call in especially people on the side of AH, which they would be willing to be specialist of DV or whatever other specialist of something, so that they can focus perhaps on the audience, right? Because they made such a big deal out of the audience being the mobster that kind of sway the trial in a certain direction, instead of perhaps maybe the evidence, right? The audio evidence, the poor acting on the stand of a certain person, and also everybody that testified for her, and maybe the overwhelming amount of witnesses that testified for JD, which they seem incredibly credible. But nope. There is going to be some specialist that is going to claim that some dude on TikTok, or maybe me or some other YouTuber, did something to the public opinion or whatever. So be ready for some, most likely, honestly, useless documentary that nobody needs, nobody wants, especially because they cannot possibly have anything of value to add to what we have already seen. Which is that after 6 weeks, Johnny Depp won the defamation case against him, and in doing so, like, the side effect of winning the defamation case was that thanks to the audio evidence, thanks to hours of recordings provided by AH herself because of therapy, because whatever they were doing when she was recording this stuff, right? And then later on, probably JD was doing the same when things went south, and probably was doing that also to have some evidence that he was being manipulated, right? Like that famous phone call where you hear him like trying to mitigate the outcome of what it would be going public with certain accusations, and instead on the other side, AH just basically mocking Johnny Depp in saying, Johnny Depp, tell the word. Johnny Depp, I'm a victim of DV. Let's see who believes you, right? That famous line. So, hadn't it been there, can you imagine? Also, can you imagine if the trial was not televised, that people had the chance to look at the poor acting on the stand of a certain somebody, and getting a feel of the truth, not just through the audio, but also through the fact that you see somebody and you start to go like, all right, this is absolute, I know where I stand. And like many of you, I was disappointed when back in the day the news broke out that Johnny Depp was accused of those things, because I thought, oh wow, I didn't expect that. Somehow the Me Too movement had already done so much damage in people's mind that by default you believe women, all women, which by now you can't do, because you have to base things on just the facts. So there you have it. Thanks to, if this trial was not televised, you will have documentaries like the one coming out still being, let's say, biased and also instrumental for whoever has a bigger stake in the documentary or production or whatever is the, let's say, the narrative that they want to sell and support politically as well. They will be very instrumental to continue to perpetuate lies, which, as you know by now, this is what happens most of the time with news. So we are very, very lucky that in a case like this, there was so much evidence for people to listen to. And in fact, when I saw the audio evidence, I immediately realized, okay, she's the abuse. No question about this. This guy, for years and years, has endured an incredible toxic relationship. And people always comment about, like, yeah, but they were both toxic. I absolutely disagree. Johnny Depp most likely was battling his own demons. But to me, it's a testament to the kindness of the man that despite the fact that he was going through his own turmoil, addictions, problem that maybe come from traumas as old as, you know, his early lives with his mother or whatnot, and instead of being an abuse, instead of being a piece of shit, right, he was kind. And he was kind even to his new wife that instead was belligerent all the time. And there's another point that I want to make. We just have those 4, 5, 6, 8 hours, I don't know how much, of audios available, right? Of those conversations in different times, in different places. But they're also months or years apart, whatever. Most likely months apart. And you have to consider most likely how many incidents, right? Like the one in the elevator or all the other incidents which we have some audio for, might have happened that we don't know. So, like Johnny Depp said, that he endured constant belittling, constant conflict with his ex-wife, right? Who knows? Who knows? And this guy was being hammered on, making his own condition of addiction and things worse and worse, to the point where I think, and we have said this many times, that we were very close to Johnny Depp probably taking his own existence away, you know, getting rid of himself. That was a big, big possibility. So, again, going back to this type of documentaries, I feel already a rejection towards it. I don't think it's necessary. I might watch it just by curiosity, but at the same time, I think they should be just, boycotted in a way. Especially if they want to portray in a less, than more favorable. Sorry, they want to play in AH in a favorable way. Sometimes the tongue and everything just, pastes up. I can't speak anymore. So, I'm curious to know your thoughts on this. For my point of view, there is nothing that they can present that we really need. We have gone through this in so incredible details that would be just better to leave it alone, honestly, so that Johnny Depp can also try to have a career back and continue to do what he loves, which is doing absolutely fine with an incredible support by people. So there is really nothing they can say to prove that AH was, less than the abuser in this relationship. There is no way they can do that. And if they try, they better have a dislike button, because I'm going to be the first one to click it. So guys, please consider subscribing. I hope you enjoyed this type of video. Please comment. Today I got a copyright strike, actually a takedown from the Daily Wire for reposting some of their videos. I think it's quite lame from other YouTubers to strike other YouTubers when in fact they can just copyright claim the re-uploaded video and they make the money. So the strike was totally unnecessary. So yeah, there you know. Also a warning for other YouTubers taking the stuff from the Daily Wire. Not a friendly bunch. Anyway guys, I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much for the support. Ciao.